Hey y'all. Very weird that I'm putting this in here, but we had some technical difficulties, so we had to end that video. Thank you all for watching the video before. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe today. Please
Like
comment
now.
with us. Like we need it. Like we need you to comment. We need to hear what you have to say. We accept all kinds of feedback. You can even hate on us. Haters are our
Well,
motivators. That's fine. Like hate if we're not doing anything right if we have no haters. So you can hate on us. Just don't be out of pocket. Like don't say kill yourself or anything like that. Like because then you've
that's
got
evil.
problems. That's actually like wrong.
And it's, and it's
Um,
actually like not that serious to tell
it's
us to kill ourselves.
it's never that serious to do that. But yeah, just don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe today. And thank you for watching. And we'll be back again here shortly with another video. So thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Asha. This is Fnan. We're Asha and Fnan, and we're here to recap Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 13, episode 11. We just finished our episode for we just finished our recap for episode 10, so we're just going right into the next one. We have a couple of late episodes just because we went to Coachella and had some time after that. So like now we're here and we're ready to talk about Melissa versus Trey, Jen versus Marge, everyone versus everyone. So without any further ado, let's get started and get into it. The episode starts off, they kind of pick up from the end of the last episode where they were just hanging out at the bar. Melissa and Trey were talking about, you know, the whole mom not getting invited to the wedding again. Who gives a fuck? We are moving on. So we're in Ireland at the bar. They decide to go from the bar that they're at to another pub, like a really cute pub. Um, and then they're all, you know, drinking and stuff. Jen decides to chug a beer and that immediately regrets that decision because beer is disgusting. And in Ireland, it seems like they only drink fucking dark stout, which is really gross. I can't imagine anything worse. And then they took Guinness shots and I wanted to barf. Like, what the fuck? Guinness shots? It's nasty. And then um and then they're actually like, one of my notes here was like they're actually having fun. Like everyone is vibing. They're getting to know the other people in the pub. Like bartenders bring them all like the nasty ass shots. Jen Fessler, it's really funny. She decides that she wants to like battle against like these other two people that are also like chugging a beer, and she chugs it to where like her white shirt is brown because she spills the beer all over herself. And then everyone's like, Jen, yay, Festa. And then Teresa, for some reason, throws a drink on her. Rude. But then Jen throws a drink on her back, and then everyone's throwing drinks on each other. So they're like, okay, you gotta get the fuck out. So then they get back into their sprinter band, and they're talking about how they're, you know, gonna go to an after party. They're still fucked up and like all this stuff. 5 minutes later, everyone's asleep. And then they finally get home. Um, back to their castle, go to sleep. It's the next day. They're all waking up. Everyone's getting together for breakfast. The breakfast looks really good, except for they mention that pig's blood, and I think that's really nasty. Um, my people, Asian people, love pig's blood, and I don't understand it at all. Like, there's something wrong with them because why are we eating pig's blood? Just in general, like I don't know why we're eating it. And then Rachel is talking to everybody about, you know, how much fun that her and Danielle were having last night when Jen tripped. It was actually really funny when Jen tripped because Jen tripped and she was like, keep fucking walking, don't look back. And it was dying. But everyone was like laughing and like having a good time, having a kiki moment. And fucking Melissa is like, I don't want to be a shit starter. But Danielle called you a shit starter. And then she called you a rat. But I don't want to cause problems. Okay, so now I'm like annoyed because they were literally just talking about having a good time, and then Melissa ruins the mood immediately and pisses Rachel off by saying that to her. And then breakfast is awkward now. So then Danielle comes down, she's like making her plate, blah blah blah. And Melissa's like, oh, we were just talking about last night, blah blah blah, like sorry. And Danielle was like, and then Rachel was like, why'd you call me a rat? And Danielle was like, I felt like what you did was rat-ish. Like you went to Marge with like the stuff that we were talking about, and I didn't like that. So now Marge kind of gets into it, and she like Marge and Danielle kind of like beef for a second, just being like, like she just doesn't know. Like Marge doesn't know that Danielle just talked to Jen about Laura. And so like, she's saying like, why do you think I have an arsenal? Blah blah blah. It's like, you do have an arsenal, ma'am. And you're worried about like people who know about the arsenal that you have. So then Danielle in her talking head was like, like I'll take whatever hit I can get from Margaret because she was talking about my friend's marriage and she was, speaking about Melissa. And I'm not trying to, get involved in that or like ruin anything. So I'll let her beef with me. Like, it's fine. I was like, I would have exposed it, but that's just, like one of the other notes is like, I know like in the last episode, you said character assassination. In this episode, and when I was mentioned again, I said character assassination. Shut the hell up. But that was mean. And then my other note was I think that Danielle should get her facts straight before coming to the ladies with like fighting or trying to battle, because I feel like she gets like caught up and doesn't really know how to respond when all the other ladies, I feel like they just like they come at her all at the same time. Not like intentionally. I just feel like that's just what happens, and then she doesn't really know like what to say or what to do. Like that scene ends with Dolores saying, "You guys need to shut the fuck up. We're gonna go shopping. Like this needs to be done. I don't know why you guys won't let Danielle talk, but at this point I'm over it. So let's just wrap up breakfast and get ready with our day." So that ends that scene. What did you think about that? Thoughts?
There's a lot happening in this. Geez, what did I have here? I thought it was really funny that Marge wore a shirt that said endorsed on it, and Jennifer just shout out to Giselle because just I feel like Giselle is like the first housewife that did something like that. So shout out to Giselle. That is Giselle Bryant's impact. And I'm getting a text message. Good night. Sorry, but so shout out to Giselle for that, and shout out to Marge because that was funny. And I thought that Jennifer really took that like she didn't like she didn't yell at her or anything like that. She just took it in stride, which is cool to see that these girls are taking shade. Fine.
Lightly.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was funny that Rachel piped in and was like, when Danielle was not, when Danielle saw pig's blood, she was like, what is this? And
Rats.
Rachel was like, oh, that's pig's blood. Actually, sorry, rat's blood. And it was so funny. I was like, that you kind of ate there. I was gonna say Jen Fessler, she's gonna be my daughter, I feel like. Because
She's
it was
really
so
funny.
funny when she fell and she was like, that didn't happen. Keep walking. And she's just been really funny in this
I feel like she's a good
in this
addition.
season. She's a good friend of. She honestly could have been full time to me because she has a lot to offer with her storyline. Like, my God, like she's a talent agent and slept with Tony Soprano. Like, that's not anything these girls can say. Like Marge can't say that.
Been through like a cheating thing and then got back with
and
she's very
yeah,
open.
I guess we'll get into that later. Honestly, I know that you didn't like how Melissa spilled that tea about
I didn't.
Rachel. I thought it was funny. She's working, she's working for that check. I thought it was funny. It brought drama, but it brought the same drama again, which is fucking annoying.
It was just pathetic. And like you're supposed to be, I think Danielle is like way too trusting of these bitches because she tells something to them and then she gets mad when like it gets brought up again. And it's like you just have to know who to trust, and you're hanging out on fucking Melissa. You can't trust her. Like that's just like how I'm seeing it, is like, Danielle, you're being a little too trusting, and you're being trusting to the wrong side because you told Rachel, and Rachel's on Melissa's side and Margaret's side.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talk to Melissa, and like Melissa for some reason thought it was okay to bring it up. I understand bringing it up, like whatever, bring it up, but like you're bringing it up after Rachel just said that her and Danielle got along and were good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I have much to say about this scene.
Well, we move forward.
Okay.
We move, back into the Sprinter van. Where are they driving? I don't know where they're driving, but they're
They're
driving somewhere.
shopping. They're
Shopping. Okay,
going
they're
to
going out to
shopping. Yeah.
the city and stuff. Jen is talking about, I mean, all the women are talking about like infidelity, and Jen was talking about how her husband cheated on her. She said it was called the 7-year itch. So like, I'm assuming 7 years into their marriage, he cheated on her, and she separated from him, and they ended up dating other people. But they always loved each other and always wanted to come back to each other. So now they've been together ever since that happened. And everything's like a lot better, and she's a lot happier. I really like applaud how open she was with it, because I feel like the other housewives wouldn't really be like, I feel like I've never really heard Teresa like talk about Joe cheating on her, but like I feel like that's definitely happened. I'm surprised they didn't show like that bitch wife clip that they always show in a flashback whenever they're talking about Joe Judice, or like Teresa and Joe's relationship and stuff. So I like give her flowers for that, because it was like that must have been very hard to go through, and then to kind of talk about it, it's like, you could be over it, but it's still like you're kind of reliving it. Dolores was talking about her relationship with Frank, and how she wouldn't be the person and the mother that she is now if she stayed with Frank, because Frank could not commit to being faithful in their marriage, and like she was raising 2 kids on her own when he was like doing the things that he would do. And um I applaud Dolores for that too, for like having that self-awareness and recognizing that like they like her kids deserve a mom that's present, that stands up for herself, that doesn't take shit, and like she wouldn't have been that mom if she stayed with Frank. All the women, I forget who asked it, but they're like, is infidelity a deal breaker? And all of them said no, and I was like, oh,
No,
you bitches
Teresa
are.
didn't say no,
But Teresa was the only one that didn't say no, but
but she's
everyone
lying
else,
because she literally was cheated on
she
by
dealt
Joe.
with it. Yeah, like she dealt with it.
But yeah,
um
that's crazy
yeah,
that everyone said no.
I thought that was wild. Like I was like, it actually is a huge deal breaker, because first of all, you bitches are married, okay? Like it would be a deal breaker for me dating someone,
Yeah.
like having someone as my boyfriend if they cheated on me. You guys are married, like you're locked in with someone. That is a fucking deal breaker. I don't know, but thought Dolores was really cool for like saying that. I don't even know how it went into the conversation of kids, but then fucking Rachel asked Teresa if her kids are close to Melissa's kids. And in my head, when she asked that, I was like, what's crazy is like, what you're starting by doing this, because Teresa's not going to give the answer that Melissa would give. And it's going to piss Melissa off. And even though Teresa didn't necessarily say anything bad about Antonia, it was still like a negative connotation. I don't see it in Melissa's eyes as like Teresa blaming Antonia, but like I can see how Melissa can see it that way. And I can see how she's like, wow, you're really like bringing the kids into it. I was like, I mean, it wouldn't have been brought in if Rachel, your friend, didn't ask. That's how I feel. I don't know. And then I also said Melissa has no leg to stand on because she talks shit about Gia too.
I don't think she said anything. She she didn't bring up anything negative about Gia. She just feels like Gia did not fuck with her and she's sad about it. I Joe is the reason. Joe, if you want to drag Joe, true, go ahead because he's the one who brought up the meal situation with the kids. He was the
Yeah,
one who
and
brought it up,
well,
and
that's exactly what I'm
then
talking
Melissa
about.
kept going. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But that wasn't Melissa that just brought it up out of nowhere. It was Joe that did it, and then she just kind of like went on with it. But I don't think she initially wanted to do that. Anyways, Teresa is like, I don't understand why she would say that. Like, she gets 7 chops for me. Are you kidding
Don't you
me?
also know
Are you
like
kidding me,
Antonia was
Teresa?
at her cheer competition, and then like when fucking Melissa mentioned like her son's communion, like then Teresa was like, "See, it's always tit for tat with her." And I was like, "Oh my god, I hate this fight. Like this is so annoying."
Yeah, they were so annoying. And Teresa was really annoying for bringing up the Antonia thing. Like, I know that Rachel asked that question, but what Teresa should have done was be politically correct and say, yeah, they love each other and left it at that because they do love each other. And that moment where, or sharing the disappointment that Melania had with Antonia not showing up for the birthday should have been a private thing for them to discuss. It doesn't have anything to do with you, Teresa. Shut the fuck up. And Melissa kind of making a big deal out of it. Like I understand because if I had a child and my sister-in-law is bringing up my child's name in like a negative way, I also would be like, what are you fucking doing? Like my blood would boil. So I understand where Melissa's coming from. But yeah, I don't know why Rachel asked that question. It was definitely messy. And I guess
That's what I'm saying.
maybe I feel like she probably brought it up because of what um Teresa was breaking down what happened with her and Joe to Jen Fessler, and maybe that's probably one of the reasons. That's probably why she asked because Teresa was all alone dealing with Joe, and her
Mm-hmm.
kids. So maybe she was interested to know if the kids were close because of what Teresa was going through with Joe. So I kind of get where that's coming from, but still, like, it's messy, and I just don't like that question. And Teresa, like, why are you like you're not stupid. Why would you do that? But what I did really love about this scene is I loved the realness factor between Melissa and Teresa here because they were very upset with each other. Like it was like the first time where it was direct. It wasn't like this passive aggressive type of shit. It was very direct. Where Teresa's like saying, if I felt the love, I would have given it right back to you. And Melissa was like, maybe you should be showing an example of what love is by making me a bridesmaid in your wedding. Like it was like that argument, like I loved that argument because it was real. It was very real from both sides. Like you could feel that Teresa doesn't feel like love coming from Melissa, and you could feel that Melissa doesn't feel love coming from Teresa. And I just wish that they were always honest like this. Like I wish that their arguments were like honest like this. Teresa and Melissa are wrong, period, to me.
Interesting.
What?
I was just saying interesting.
Okay, but what are you thinking?
Nothing. It's just really interesting. No, I'm joking. Yeah, like I think it was wrong of true. Okay, first of all, I think it was just messy as fuck of Rachel to ask that question. I understand why she would ask it, but I thought it was
Mhm.
fucking messy. And I was like,
Yeah.
you asked
Ew,
this question
sorry. I'm sticking my hair. Huh?
because you know that like Lisa would have more of a PC answer, but you asked Teresa, who's like, I'm gonna tell the truth, and the truth may not be what you want to hear. Teresa said, like they were, but Antonia didn't show up to Gia's sweet or Melania's sweet 16, and she was upset about it. And then, Melissa's explaining why she didn't show up, which is why I don't understand what Teresa's not getting about that. It's like if she missed the cheer competition, she would have been off the cheer team. That would have been a whole other big deal, and that has nothing to do with Melania. That's her own thing. And I
And
just feel like
Teresa's
in that
saying,
moment,
well, she could have showed up for 1 hour.
an hour, they were in another state.
And then
Like it's just
also,
never gonna be enough for Teresa.
yeah, and I
They
guess
could have shown up for an hour, and then Teresa would have been mad that they left after an hour. Like, why didn't you stay the whole time? Like
nothing's
it's
good
always
enough for her. Yeah. It's annoying just to see that, but it was cool. I love the moment where she was saying, if I felt the love, I would have given it right back. I was like, Teresa, you better eat. She ate with that comment, and then Melissa also ate
did,
with her
and it's very
comment
true.
back. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so then we go next, and everyone's like shopping. They're all walking around. Jackie has a confessional where she just says, like, I think Teresa should understand, talking about people's kids because I mentioned Gia's name. I only said Gia's name last season. I was like, you didn't only say Gia's name. You didn't just say Gia and Teresa flipped out. You made an
You
analogy
made
that,
analogy.
yeah, like you made an analogy that she didn't understand, and that's why she freaked out. And then she said, like in her confessional, she was like, honestly, shut the hell up. And I was like, oh my God, that's how I've been feeling about you this entire fucking season. Like, literally, shut your mouth. Why are you even here? Anyways, we move next. Everyone's in this store. They're all
Fucking
like,
dead.
talking to each other in like different parts of the store. So like Marge is talking to Melissa, and Melissa's like, what the fuck? Like, that's like really dirty. Like, I don't know why she would bring up my kids. Like, that's not okay. And then, Teresa and Jennifer on the other side talking about like, Teresa's like, well, I just told the truth. I don't know she's bad. Like, I just told the truth.
And
Like,
then
that's what's
she
happening.
says, and then she says, you girls should have helped me. Did you hear that?
Yes, I remember that. And I was like, help you with
So
what?
lazy, bro.
Help
I
you
love
with
her though.
what? I don't know. I don't like Rachel. That's just what I learned from like the last couple scenes in this episode. I don't like her. And Melissa versus Teresa, I said, who cares? OMG. That's just like kind of how the scene ends while like they're shopping. Like they're just kind of all talking about everything that just happened in the car. And then it starts up again with Melissa talking to Joe and calling him and just being like, I don't know how much more I can do. Like, she's talking about our kids. Like, she's talking about Antonia. And like, I don't think that's okay. And Joe's just like, this is so sad. Like, like she's my sister. She's my only sister. Can't believe she's like treating us like this. Like, and then Melissa's like, I don't even think that we should like go to the wedding. Like, I don't feel like it would feel right for us to be at the wedding. So I feel like with that conversation with like Joe and Melissa, they're both like kind of determining that they're like done with Teresa and done with like trying to make things better and like, be friendly, be cordial. It just doesn't sound like it's gonna happen. When she said like bring the kids in it, my note was your friend asked a question about the kids. I don't think Teresa would have
You
opened her mouth about
can't
it.
blame this on Rachel.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay, you can, but it doesn't make sense to.
Why? If Rachel would have
Do you
shut her
think
mouth,
Melissa?
this
Do
would
you
have not
think
been an issue.
you're thinking? Okay, this is a Teresa thing you're doing right now, Asha. Do you think that Melissa told Rachel to ask Teresa this question?
No, absolutely not.
Do you think that Melissa has any control over Rachel?
No, I'm just saying, like, why would you ask that question in this enclosed space, knowing that these bitches are beefing really hard right now, and then you're gonna bring the kids into it? Like, that's my point of view. It's like this question would have been fine if like you asked them separately, but they're all here in the same area where Teresa can hear like what Melissa's saying, Melissa can hear what Teresa's saying. I just felt like it was messy as fuck, and like it's different when it comes with kids. Like, it'd be different if it was just like talking about Joe, like whatever. Like they argue about Joe all the time. Like, who cares? I just thought it was messy as fuck to bring like ask about the kids.
Yeah, but okay,
Like that's
that Rachel's action is that question is fucked up. But why are you blaming this on Melissa right now?
I'm not blaming it on Melissa.
You said, well, your friend asked that question.
Well, she did. I
But
was stating
why is
a
that her
fact. Your
fault?
friend asked the question.
You're
It's
positioning
not
it as
anyone's fault. I'm just saying that is Rachel not Melissa's friend? Is Rachel not
it
Melissa's friend? She's not Teresa's friend.
sure,
You
but
didn't say like Jennifer asking that.
I don't think that's reason enough to be mad at Melissa about her friend asking that question.
Who's Melissa? I'm
You
not mad
keep
at Melissa.
saying, but you keep
I
positioning
was
it
just
as
saying. That's just a note that I have. It says bring the kids in it. Your friend was the one that asked the question about the kids. The kids would have never been brought if Rachel didn't ask that question. That's just what I'm saying.
okay.
No one would have even talked about the kids if Rachel didn't say, do your kids get along? Like, that's what
Okay.
I'm saying. I'm not blaming it on Lisa. I'm kind of blaming it on Rachel mostly.
my confusion was, well, I don't know. Maybe I
You think that
miss.
I thought that Melissa plotted that whole thing to like tell Rachel to ask Teresa about it so that they could like start some drama. When really my note just said, bitch, it was your friend that asked the question. Like Teresa didn't bring the kids into it. I don't think Teresa would have said anything if that question wasn't asked about Antonia or like Melania or anything. That's what I meant.
Okay.
You just like Rachel. You're on that side.
I
So
don't
you're
like Rachel. I'm just trying to be fair right now. I'm
fair.
trying to be fair. Yes, I'm trying to be fair because I don't think it's fair that like it's it's uh it's fucked up for Teresa to have said what she had said.
It is
But I
fucked
know,
up. Like that's
but
what
I
I'm saying.
keep going. Sorry, I'm not trying to
No,
cut
go
you
ahead.
off. No,
No, go ahead, go
it's
ahead.
fucked. No, I just think it's fucked up for Teresa to have said what she had said. I I just yes, Rachel asked that question. Oh, why does it matter that it's Melissa's friend that asked that question?
Just because it was interesting. You just didn't see Jennifer asking that question. I'm just saying, like, you just didn't see Jennifer asking that, but or Danielle, but that's just me. That's just me. The people on Teresa's side weren't asking that because they know how that would like blow shit up when it brings kids into it.
Yeah,
Whereas, you know,
but it's a journey.
I'm
I don't know. No, you keep. I want you to say what you need to say. Like this is our space to share our feelings. Now, what was I going to say?
don't.
Okay, I wanted to talk about one part of this scene that I forgot. Um, okay, so when the girls make it to the shops
Mm-hmm.
and they're all kind of like downloading each other, or they're all kind of like just sharing their feelings, and then Teresa's like trying to justify her using that Antonio reference and stuff like that. There was a part in this scene where Melissa was having a conversation with Marge saying she wants to cut the cancer out like Teresa did with
Yes.
Kathy. And I thought
Yeah.
that that was so insane because like Melissa, like I want you to think critically here. You are not the star of this show. You can't do what Teresa did to Kathy. You
Yeah.
can't cut Teresa
She
out and
literally
be like,
fired
"Oh,
her.
yeah, you can't do that." She brought you I mean, she didn't bring you on the show because she didn't want y'all there in the first place. But the reason why y'all have been here for this long is because Teresa brought you here. Like, I need you to think critically here. If Teresa wants you gone, you're gone. Like after the season, if Teresa's done with you, like we're hearing after the reunion, y'all are dead. Like I'm sorry, like it's dead, it's done. I'm sorry. Like
I've been over you
you
for
can't
so
you
long.
can't you can't act like you are the Teresa of the show. You're not. You will never be.
You're you're
You've
not.
never had iconic moments like Teresa. You've never flipped a table. You have been riding the coattails of Teresa Judice this whole time. You can't be
And
like, let's cut the cancer out. When literally sorry, I keep cutting you off, but like I'm just very passionate about this. But literally, I took off my damn glasses trying to hide my damn sty. Sorry. You and your brother have been riding the coattails of Teresa this whole time. This whole time. You can't cut the cancer. Like, you can't act like Teresa's been the cancer. You guys are both equally wrong all of the time. Honestly, it's more Joe. I'm going to be fair here. I feel like it's more Joe and Teresa more than it is you, Melissa. I feel like Teresa blames you for everything that Joe does, but she doesn't realize that Joe doesn't really fuck with her. And she
mhm.
misplaces blame on Melissa more than she does Joe. That's what I feel like, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I
But the
think
audacity of you to think that. No,
yeah,
honey.
she's nuts for that. She's really cray cray.
Um, sorry to interrupt, but like I just wanted to bring that up in that scene because the audacity of Melissa Gorga.
She was like, "This is vile. I need to cut the cancer out." I'm like, "You're not Teresa, and Teresa's not Kathy, so
Yeah.
there's no cancer." And I don't know. That was also an iconic moment when Teresa said that to Kathy. And like,
Mhm.
what you're saying this in like the back of the shop, no one's gonna remember this. We only remembered it because we watched it recently. But nobody likes you, and you're not Teresa. Just because you get first chair next to Andy doesn't mean you're the star of the show. Just means, wow, for another year, shit's happening between you and Teresa. So of course you have to be on the first chair, but you shouldn't be.
Literally, if you think about it, Teresa has had first chair ever since season 3 or 2. Every year.
Season one.
You I don't think she was first chair season 1. I think it was Caroline and
Okay,
Danielle or
I thought she
something.
pushed Andy. I thought she was closer to him when she pushed him.
That
But you're
that was season 2, I think.
oh, season two. Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
season she's pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wasn't first chair there then, I don't think. But either way, Teresa has always been first chair since pretty much at the beginning. Melissa, you were literally last season, you were last chair. Okay.
When she
Like
sang, when she
you
sang,
were Melissa, last season you were literally fighting for your job. And so now you were trying to bring you're trying honestly, I feel like this was Melissa and Joe's goal. They were trying to cut Teresa out of the show and continue the show with them two, and the shit backfired really fucking bad.
really bad.
And Joe, the fact that Joe thinks that this is all going according to plan for Teresa, basically, I think that he thinks that Teresa is fucking with Melissa and Joe so that they don't come to the wedding, and he thinks it's going according to plan. It's Teresa loves you, Joe. You just hate your sister.
Yeah, that's not her fault. That you, I mean, it might be, but it's just dumb because she's already tried to extend an olive branch, and you're the one making it worse. So like Joe and Melissa were talking, and then they go to dinner. And everything seems like chill, like Fessler's got her boobs out and they're all taking pictures and stuff. And then it just goes into like Rachel versus Danielle again. And Rachel's like, or Danielle's like, I call a spade a spade. I call a rat a rat. And then Rachel's, kind of talking about, from what I remember, like she was just talking about like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, you're way too influenced by other people. And like that has nothing to do with me. And she's like, I just gave Marge this information. And then it goes into Marge versus Jennifer. And then Marge is like upset that, because she hates that Jen is like talking about her and she doesn't know what she's saying. And she's also like talking to Laura. So, like, Jennifer has an arsenal as well, but it's only against Marge.
And Marge hates
Hates
it.
it. Yeah, she hates it. And I don't know, Marge is like, just for this entire season, not even this episode, she's been clicking so far down for me this entire season. I used to stand Marge. She was like,
We
okay, like you're
did, yeah.
reasonable, love the pigtails, like you're very honest about yourself. Like
She would be accountable.
she was refreshing when she first started. And now I'm like, you're like fucking annoying. And there has to be a reason why Laura feels okay like saying shit about you. Like obviously the friendship ended in a bad way. And she doesn't respect your ass, therefore she's like talking like something bad must have happened between you guys,
Mm-hmm.
because why would Laura be talking to like your enemy, especially like essentially like on the show?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not blaming everything on Marge. Like maybe Laura's like really shitty and like is starving for attention, but I don't know.
Just the girls are getting ready for dinner. They head out to get dinner. Danielle and Rachel kind of get into it with the rat stuff again. And Rachel really stands her ground and says, like, dude, you're getting influenced by people and you're mad at me about it. And then Marge kind of gets into that because Marge is the reason why these bitches are fighting. And Jennifer defends Danielle and then gets into an argument with Marge again about everything. I think Marge I think Jennifer was like upset that she was called a drug addict, and then Marge was like, "Yeah, you're right. I should have never called you a drug addict. Like that was wrong. I was in my
Mm,
feelings, and
yeah,
that was wrong
that
of
was
me.
wrong.
But I'm not going to apologize for calling you just shovel." And then Jennifer clicked down even more for me because she called Marge a booger wolf.
Oh
Like
yeah,
what a like shit insult. Like on she
that's pretty good because no one knows what that means.
I
Like
know.
I looked.
I didn't know what that nobody knew what it means. And that's the thing is like that's not really a good insult. Nobody knows what it means, but okay.
You should have called her like an ugly bitch because that's literally what it means. So I don't know why you didn't
She should
like
have
those two
dragged
words.
her for not having hair.
Yeah, like those two words hit way harder than a word that we've never heard. Like if you called me a booger wolf, I'd be like, is that a cartoon character? But if you called me ugly bitch, yeah, I'm not misunderstanding you. Like I know what you meant.
I've been like, bitch, you're struggling to grow hair. Like you have dead ass hair. You're
Get your
like
head.
that's why you're
Have you
literally
seen your house? How do you not get a seizure walking into your damn house? Like, I'm scared of your house. It's scary.
your house is
Why do you have
scary.
different
You're
cheetah wall
fighting
print?
to grow hair strands. Like take some vitamin D or biotin.
You had
I'll
your
get it for
wrist
you from
broken for some reason
Costco.
because you had your wrist broken, you couldn't do shit, and Joe had to like wipe your ass and stuff. That's kind of pathetic and weird. Like, if we're being completely honest.
Imagine having a grown ass man wipe your ass for you. Like
And
I would have went in like just disrespectfully. Like
that's just
Booga
like
Wolf, Booga Wolf, loser ass shit that Jennifer just did. Like clicking down. But yeah, that's all that happened
yeah, I think that
after that.
brings us to the end of the episode. They just filmed the reunion. So when I was reading back like the article that I sent you about like well, I saw it on Instagram too. So I looked at the comments on Instagram, but like about her being like unhinged and like never seen her like this before. First of all, Teresa's always unhinged in reunions. So like I was like, this is not gonna be anything new. I don't even know like when I said that to you, I was like, I'm just not surprised. Because like she's probably fucking pissed. And it's someone
Like
on
what did they expect? A
like,
namaste, Teresa?
yeah, like that's not her tagline anymore. So you guys need to
She
move
did
the fuck
that
on.
season 9 and that was it.
It's over. It's over.
I
People in
feel
the
like
comments, like in the Instagram comments, were saying like, "Oh, this is definitely from the Gorgas camp." Like the
right,
source.
yeah.
Like then I
Marge
have to take
and
it with a grain of
Golga.
salt. Yeah, like I have to take it with a grain of salt and actually watch the reunion. And I'm pretty sure Teresa will be unhinged, but that's okay because I
That's
don't
what
know.
she
Like,
does.
listen, like she should go nuclear on you. And Marge, you talk too damn much. I think Teresa's getting fucking annoyed. And Danielle is on her side, but like I don't know. I feel like everyone else is on like Melissa and Marge's side. Like Fessler and Fuda and um Jackie. Just forgot about that bitch. But
Yeah.
okay, well that brings us to the end of episode 11. We will be uploading episode 12 later on this week when we watch it. Thank you so much for sticking with us with this episode and our previous one. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. We love when you guys interact with us. Let us know how we're doing. Give us any kind of feedback that you can. And we will see you later this week. Bye.
Bye.